Alright, welcome back guys. What's your first time here? I'm Vision Hero Boy Tim, bringing you guys another video. Taking you guys my review for Power Rangers Dino Fury Season 2 Episode 4, Tiny Trouble. Now, Power Rangers, I'm sure instant. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button down below. Hit that bell icon to miss more Power Rangers content from me. Moving forward. Now let's begin. We're at episode 4, Power Rangers Dino Fury Season 2. This was a very interesting episode. Now, you start the episode off with the Rangers training with the exception of Aiyon, who is pretty much relaxing, doing nothing, just eating a bunch of junk food. Now, I really like this because we haven't really been shown the Rangers training that much, so I'm really glad we got a little glimpse of that here. It's a really nice kind of scene for the Rangers, kind of building up their fighting skills, so it's nice to see that there. However, and after they're done fighting, they end up being seeing this new Zord that, well, it's a new Zord to us, but it's an old Zord to them, or at least to Zato and Aiyon. It's the P.A.K.A. Smash Sword. Now, it's very tiny compared to the usual size of a Zord, so you got Aiyon, who I guess had a close connection to the Zord back in the day. So he decides he's going to try to use the grow Dino key to try to grow the monster bigger to its actual Zord size. However, you got a bit of a comedy moment here as he's trying to grow it and he ends up accidentally growing different food giant. It's kind of a funny scene. It's okay, not like the best comedy scene, but okay. However, the Zord pretty much, I don't know if you'd say freak out, but gets kind of just jumps around and is kind of out of control. So the Rangers can't capture him and grow him. So they end up finally being able to catch him and bringing the Zord back to base, where you got Solon, who scans the Zord to try to find its Dino key, and so they can activate the new Dino Smash armor. And you got Aiyon, who, like I said, has this close connection to the Zord, and he decides to take the monster out on his leash or whatever to spend time with it. Meanwhile, you got the villains, who you still got Aqua, who spots Aiyon with the Zord and decides to inform Void Knight, and you got them who decide that maybe the Rangers had the rest of Sporix, but there's no more Sporix in the city, so he devises a plan to kidnap the Pocket Smash Sword and using it as a bargaining chip to get the rest of Sporix in return for the Zord. So you got Wreckmate and Aqua, who end up showing up there. They end up getting the Zord, or at least nearly getting the Zord. You got Aiyon and Ollie, who go after the Zord to try to find it and recapture it or whatever. And this is where I get a little frustrated with the episode, because I understand what they're doing with the moral today with Aiyon, but Ollie, like usual, just kind of annoys me so much because he's chastising and being really mean to Aiyon. Look, I understand Aiyon was being somewhat of an idiot and everything, but I really just didn't like the way Ollie went about chastising him and everything for, just letting the Zord off his leash after knowing that it was kind of out of control or whatever. Meanwhile, you got Wreckmate, who's fighting the Rangers, ends up, pretty much nearly capturing them, and you got Ollie and Aiyon, who are tracking the Pocket Smash Sword. Now, this is a part where I did find interesting, because you got Aiyon, who's saying they find footprints and saying, oh, she's gonna be heading back to the base because it's somewhere familiar to her. And like I said, you got Ollie, who notices the tracks are not going to the base, and kind of again chastises him for not being smart and not thinking things through, much to my annoyance. And you got the two of them who end up following the tracks to this rock enclosure kind of place, and they use their Dino keys to find the real Pocket Smash Sword. I guess it's real. This is the baby Pocket Smash Sword, and I guess it's revealed that Zords can somehow reproduce. I hope we get some kind of explanation for that later on, because we didn't get in this episode. It was weird. But they end up finding the actual Pocket Smash Sword. They end up releasing it from this cave or something like that on the side of a cliff. They end up retrieving it. They end up getting a Pocket Smash armor, where they end up returning and helping the Rangers fight off Wreckmate. You got Aqua, who grows big. You got the Rangers. You got Aiyon, who goes up with the Moza Razor Zord to take him down. Meanwhile, you got the other Rangers and Ollie, who face off against Wreckmate. and you got Ollie who uses the Pocket Smash armor to push him back, and he ends up retreating. And that is another area where I kind of didn't like. I understand it probably has something to do with Sentai footage, but since it was kind of built up that Aiyon had a connection to the Pocket Smash sword, I had at least figured or thought they'd have him use the armor, so I was expecting that. And it kind of was a letdown that Ollie used it. I'm assuming, and I'm probably has to do with the Sentai footage, but it was something that I was disappointed about. But you got Aiyon who's trying to fight Akio. He ends up getting overwhelmed, so the Rangers end up calling in the Megazords and the Pocket Smash Sword. They end up combining and using their new formation to take down Akio and defeat him. Meanwhile, you got Void Knight after the battle is done, who captures his sporix and uses it to and returns to base later on. Meanwhile, you got at the Rangers base that you got Aiyon who apologizes and says that just because you're experienced doesn't mean you know it all. Pretty much that's the moral of the day. Just because you're experienced at things doesn't mean you're ahead of everybody else. So I really like that moral of the day. It was a good moral. And then you got the cliffhanger ending where, like I said, you got Void Knight who returns to base with Akio sporix, giving him enough power to him to power up his machine, and you end up ending the episode on a cliffhanger where you got his machine powering up, and the woman in the cryogenic freeze thing pod ends up opening up her eyes, and it kind of leaves off on that cliffhanger. Again, I thought this was a good to solid okay episode. If I had to give this episode a grade, I'd give it a 3 out of 4. 3 out of 5. Just a few things with Ollie using the armor and being kind of chastising to Aiyon. Those two things kind of annoyed me. Overall, I thought it was an okay episode. Nothing like big or special, but I did enjoy the episode. But let me know your thoughts and opinions about this episode in the comment section down below. Yeah, guys, that's a review of Power Rangers Dino Fury Season 2, Episode 4, Tiny Trouble. As always, if you like this video, don't forget to get a big thumbs up and share. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button down below. Hit that bell icon to miss more Power Rangers content from me moving forward. And go follow me on Instagram, Twitter, which I've linked in the best section of my YouTube channel. As always, I'm Vision here of Entertainment, and I'll see you next time.